Welcome back inside Centura Health Training Center for another episode of Broncos Now. As always, I'm your host, Sydney Jones. And coming up on today's episode, Hall of Fame safety Steve Atwater joins the show. We'll get his thoughts on Sunday's win over the Packers and take a look ahead to the Broncos' Week 8 matchup versus the Chiefs. All that and more coming up. Joining me here inside the Broncos podcast studio for today's episode of Broncos Now is Hall of Fame safety, Mr. Steve Atwater. Steve, pleasure as always to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me on, Sid. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. How you feeling? Good?
I feel much better now. We got a victory, a home win, too.
I know. I love it. Wasn't the prettiest of wins, but hey, a win is a win here.
That's right.
Steve, I want to start off this episode by talking about the defense. They put up another good performance versus the Packers. Did allow 2 touchdowns in the second half, but if we're being honest, those were kind of strange touchdowns from the Packers. Steve, overall, what do you think about this defense's performance?
I thought it was a good performance. I don't think it was our best performance of the year, but I love the effort that the guys had. Josie Jewell, Alex Singleton, man, those guys, they were flying around. We didn't pressure the quarterback as much as I'm sure that all the guys wish they could have gotten there, gotten to Jordan Love, but. Other than that, though, the other areas I thought, did a decent job. Like I said, not perfect, but okay for the win.
Yeah. Steve, I know head coach Sean Payton said on Monday that he really credits this defense's turnaround in recent weeks to defending the run. Have you seen that, or why do you think they've improved a lot over the past couple weeks here?
Oh, that's definitely it's at the top of the board because if a team can run on you, then they can do everything on you. Because I've been in games where you can't stop the run, then it just opens up everything else because now you got to allocate more guys to help stop the run, and then that makes you weaker in the passing game.
Definitely.
And so we've definitely improved in that area, and I think we've made some solid improvements that hopefully we won't see those mistakes from earlier in the year pop up where guys kind of in the wrong gaps, guys too deep. So I think that they've cleaned those things up, and again, hopefully they're here to stay.
Yeah, it was nice to see defensive tackle DJ Jones back. Of course, big reason why they were able to stop the run there. And Steve, it was also nice to see outside linebacker Baron Browning. I know that was his season debut, and I know Josie Jewell said earlier this week that he just brings a different energy to the defense that they don't have when he's not out there. And
I love Baron Browning. He's a strong guy. You shake his hands. He's like a football player's hands. He's a guy that I think can make a huge difference as the year goes on here. I know he had the knee injury, and he's looking like he never had any knee injury out there now. He's looking very strong, very solid, very stout on that edge. And I know he's a great pass rusher too, and I'm looking forward to that strength in his game to show in the coming weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Steve, moving on to the offense here. I know head coach Sean Payton said following the game that it was going to be really important to run the ball well, and we certainly saw that versus the Packers. I mean, definitely a really productive outing for the running backs.
Oh, yeah. Javonte Williams, man. It just he just every time I see him out there running, and I think back to last year when he got injured, it amazes me that he's come this far. And sometimes I see him get up a little slow, like, oh no, but he pops up and he goes back to the huddle and he's fine. And I'm so happy that he's fully recovered, and he's looking like the Javonte Williams of old too, because he's not running with any fear, any hesitation. Really is. And he's hitting those holes super hard, and I know the offensive linemen love it.
Yeah, it's been great to see him back out there. Like you said, he's had a really good couple of games here. I feel like he's hitting his stride now that he feels comfortable being out there following that injury for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's and Samaje Perine had a nice game, had a couple of nice plays. Also, Jaleel McLaughlin, the speedster, man. It's amazing to see him hit that ball up in between the gaps because, most people look at him and say, oh, this guy, he just wants to get to the edge. No, he'll run it right up the middle, and he has the great awareness, and we highlighted that on one of the videos. Just his vision is next level, and, he's a great weapon to have.
Yeah, it's a fun trio there, the three of them, for sure. Well, Steve, we did see the offense continue to struggle in the red zone. The Broncos were just 1 of 4 down there. So I guess what have you seen in terms of that the past couple games?
Yeah, well, it seems like we beat ourselves sometimes. Yeah. One person makes a mistake here, and then 2 plays later, another person makes a mistake, and then they just they compound over the course of the game, and the more of them that you have, the lower your chances are of being successful. We had a few too many of those offensive plays where we weren't on the same page, or we missed a block or missed an assignment, but it didn't hurt us this time. But we got to make sure that we address those issues. But man, the effort is off the charts, and that's what I think gives everyone in that locker room hope, is seeing that, hey, nobody's quitting. We're here. We're giving everything we have, and but you still got to clean up the part where the errors are being made. You can't let a defensive end just go and block when you have a run play.
Well, Steve, before we move on to looking ahead for the Chiefs this weekend, I want to continue our player focus, player spotlight segment. So is there anyone that you want to highlight this week?
It's got to be number 14, Cortland Sutton, man. We got to give him his just due. He's I don't think people see how hard he works, how dedicated he is, how positive of an attitude that he has. Yeah. And I love that about him. Russell Wilson's the same way. I mean,
definitely.
Some people may be down in the locker room talking negative, but they never have that energy. And I think those types of players are the guys who are going to help get us out of this, the situation that we're in. And it started yesterday.
Yeah. I think Cortland arguably had his best outing so far this season, Steve. He had 6 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown. And
a couple of circus catches, too, because I was like, oh, did he catch that? And it's a replay. Man, it was a beautiful catch. He's done that over the years, though. He's made some beautiful catches.
Yeah. Well, that was his 5th touchdown so far this season. I mean, we haven't seen that in recent years from Cortland, so great to see him getting back out there and, doing what we all know he can do.
Yeah, and, I think also it's also an element of getting the opportunities. Because sometimes at certain positions, if you're not the target, then even if you could do it, you can't do it because the opportunity doesn't present itself. Yeah. So I'm happy that the opportunities are presenting themselves, and he's showing up and making the plays because when time comes, when your number is called, you got to answer.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, Steve, I know the Broncos will be hoping to build off this win as they return back home this weekend. The Chiefs will be coming to town. Won't be, an easy task, though.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be an easy task, but I don't think we need easy right now. I think we need a challenge to make us feel really good about beating a great team.
Yeah.
And if we can go come out to Empower Field at Mile High and beat the Kansas City Chiefs, last year's Super Bowl winner. I think that it's going to go a long way to increasing the confidence of this team.
Definitely. I completely agree, Steve. And, it was interesting to hear inside linebacker Josie Jewell talk earlier this week about, this team just played the Chiefs back in week 7, 2 weeks ago, but he said he likes that. He said everything's fresh on his mind. He can remember everything, and, it'll be easier this time preparing.
No, I agree. With game plans, they change every week, and many times teams are vastly different from the team you played the prior week.
Right.
And having just played them 2 weeks ago, things will be really fresh on their minds, and I'm sure there'll be some things that they'll clean up from the last game and make sure that we have down pat. But for the most part, they played a great game, and they got to come out with that same attitude here when we play them the second time. And I believe we can do it.
Yeah, I think so too. Steve, being a former player, given the fact that this last matchup versus the Chiefs in their first meeting was on a Thursday night game, how different do you think the preparation will be this week now that they have a full week to prepare for this game and really only one game to watch last week when the Chiefs played the Chargers?
Yeah, well, I think it'll be better, because we have the game from 2 weeks ago that we played to review. We have the full time, and I think that it can be a little bit of a disadvantage when you're playing on a short week. New offensive system, new defensive system. But as the season goes on, I think the players get more confident and more comfortable with the plays, the play calls, the adjustments each and every week.
Yeah.
So we should be better. Each and every week we should show some improvement. And, again, I want to look 5, 6, 7 weeks from now and not me, but I'm hoping that the players will look 5, 6, 7 weeks from now and say we've come a long way. We were at this point where we thought we were okay, but now we know we're on the right track and we've improved significantly, and we're on track to being a great football team.
Yep, I hope so too. Well, let's see if they can get the win this Sunday, break that streak.
That's
Hopefully,
right.
Fingers
that's right.
crossed. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, I hope they don't even put the streak in their minds.
Nope.
Just put it in their minds one play at a time, full speed.
Just improving
out there on the field.
week by week.
Yes, one play at a time.
I like that mentality for sure. Yeah. Well, Steve, appreciate you joining the show today.
Thank you,
Always
Sid.
appreciate your insight.
Appreciate you. Same here.
Well, that'll do it for today's episode of Broncos Now. Broncos Country, thanks so much for tuning in. I'll meet you right back here on the Broncos Podcast Network and YouTube tomorrow for another episode. I'll see you all then.